Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself.
So to get started with these high vibrational beads, you're going to need your string or thread. Here is an option for you. This is just a clear stretch cord that I got from Walmart. It's very inexpensive, and all of the links to what I'm using today will be in the description bar. If you have another string or thread you prefer, use that instead. The next option I'm showing you is this Nymo nylon heavy duty beading thread. I got this from Amazon. It's a very durable thread. I will be using this one, and I'm going to quadruple it, so it's going to be really strong. For these waist beads, I will be using a lobster clasp closure. Of course, you could just tie them to yourself, but these are what you're going to need if you're going to be closing it with a lobster clasp, which is the cramps, the rings, the crimps, and the crimp covers. And of course, you can use another closure if you prefer that. Now, also to make this a lot easier, I got these bulldog clips from the Dollar Tree, 6 in a pack for $1. They are very firm, and they're going to go on the end of the string to stop the beads from sliding all the way to the end. Also, these are needle nose pliers from Walmart. They're going to help us affix the clasp to the ends of the beads. Now, as for the beads, we are bossing up with this first color. It is going to be gold, but you can use yellow or gold interchangeably because they both mean the same things. So yellow is symbolic of the earth's riches, and you know, gold is also a rich, prestigious, valuable color. It enhances the energy of wealth and high quality, as well as hope, optimism, joy, communication. Overall, it just brings a nice, intense, vibrant energy to whatever you add it to. So to institute a high class boss-like energy, you're gonna have to mentally go there before you're physically there. So this yellow and or gold is going to energize that solar plexus chakra and help you create that feeling of abundance that brings more abundance to you, because you know, like attracts like. Some abundance bearing yellow crystals are like citrine, tiger's eye amber, and yellow calcite. Today I'm using Sunstone. Sunstone is a healing stone, but it also is an energizer of your chakras. It brings out that pleasure, responsibility, self-confidence, joy, leadership, creativity, all of which we will need to help give us that courage to go forth and work for ourselves and be our own boss. Working with Sunstone also helps you with your self-esteem and self-control. If you have a problem with procrastination, which many of us do, working with Sunstone will help you get things done right away and not put them off until the next day. Because if we work for ourselves, we don't have anyone telling us what to do, when to do, and how to do it. So we have to have that control over ourselves and our own time to help us become successful. So clear or white is an amplifying color, so I'm using those to just break up the colors a little bit throughout the waist beads. Now here I have some lava stones. Lava is a grounding stone. It provides strength, courage during most tumultuous situations. So anytime you are going through anything, it is a really nice calming stone. As well as the color of black brings power and protection, again strength, again stability. It changes the energy, it disperses the anger, turns it to calm, so you can get frustrated when everything is on your shoulders. So this is going to help diffuse the situation and get you through difficult times. Being a boss and working for yourself can present lots of challenges that you were not expecting. So to have the grounding stones on you, because these lava beads are literally from the ground, having these on you will help you keep a solid foundation so you don't get overwhelmed as easily when these obstacles do appear. You're also going to need some scissors. So now that we've gotten everything we need, I'm just going to take a few moments to cleanse the space and the things that we're going to be using. So whenever we do touch things, we are transferring energy to them. So in the stores, and the people who make these items, they've been handling them, so their energy is left on that. We're just going to cleanse everything. We're starting fresh because we're going to create our own energy here. We're going to replace it with something positive. So the thread I'm using is actually quite strong on its own, but I did end up quadrupling it, and I quadrupled it by measuring my waist and measuring 2 times that length and cutting that, and I made 2 of those. So when I went to thread both ends through the needle, which I didn't mention you're gonna need a needle, or you could thread it through both, but it's gonna be a lot easier with a needle. So then when I double that, it makes 4. Hope that makes sense, and you can see what I'm doing right here. So you just put a clamp on the end to provide a stopping point so the beads don't fall straight through to the other side. Now it's time to start beading. Now you can bead this however you like. You can get really creative. If you want a more patterned uniform look, you can go ahead and do that. Or if you just want to freestyle it and just add the beads as you feel fit, how you feel at the time, you can do that too. The most important thing is your energy while making these beads. Remember, the space is cleared, so we're starting from ground zero as far as energy. So whatever energy is going to be placed into these beads and mirrored back to you is going to start from you. Try to make sure you're not in a chaotic environment while creating the beads. You can put some nice soft music on if that helps, and nice meditation stations on personal assistants or even YouTube. You can pull one up and have that playing in the background while you create that space in which you need for that positive energy. So you have to think of the qualities of each of these beads and colors, that energy that it needs to bring to you. You're going to think joyously, creatively, responsibly. Think about enhancing your self-esteem. All of these things, we kind of have to fake it until we make it if we don't feel it to begin with. What does a boss look like to you? What does you as a boss look like to you? Are you more confident? Are you more of a go-getter? Are you creating positive change for yourself and people around you? Does becoming a boss mean that you are going to be living large, living rich, living a nice lavish lifestyle? Or do you want to just make enough for you to be able to feel financially stable, for you not to have to rely on anybody else, for you to create that income that you need, your family needs, and friends around you, so you can be in a solid financial situation that is privileged enough to help people if they need it. If 2020 has taught us anything, is that we shouldn't have all of our eggs in one basket, especially if that basket is a 9-to-5 building someone else's dream. I'm not encouraging anyone just quit their job willy-nilly and not have a plan, but I do feel like it's necessary to have more than one stream of income. No matter how much time, energy, and effort we put into another person's business, at the end of the day, most of us are expendable, and 2020 has shown a lot of us that having a backup is very necessary at this time and any time going forward. And eventually your side hustle or your backup becomes your main source of income, along with other side incomes that you're going to be creating. Remember, we're bosses out here. We're not just gonna have one thing in the works. We need multiple streams of income. So I call these beads my queen bee beads because of the obvious pattern. They are gold and black and gold and black, just like a queen bee has the black and yellow, black and yellow. So if you are using yellow, I think a citrine stone would look perfect in a similar pattern. Now, once we get to the end, we're just going to affix our lobster claw and the ring. So we're going to start with the crimp we're gonna thread that through. I do have a few videos on my channel showing you how to affix your lobster claw to your waist beads. I can link them down below and I'll put them in the iCards. But yeah, you're just going to put the crimp through, then you put your loop, and then you're going to push that back through. Now this, I did mess up a little because I tried to push the thread through the very thin beads again, so I wanted to make it super secure, but because it wasn't wide enough to keep, I guess at that point, 4 pieces of thread through that string, it kind of got caught, tangled, and I couldn't pull it through, so I kind of messed up my needle and had to cut that string, like cut the thread and start again. I had to try and use it. I ended up having to work with such a little bit of thread, so just make sure you don't underestimate how much thread you're going to need, because I ended up having to like work with just very little on the end and it was more difficult. But this, like business, it's not predictable. We try things, they don't work out, we just have to reevaluate, reassess and redirect and keep going. So again, we add the crimp and the loop, and then instead of trying to do the same thing again, because you know that's insanity, I just went ahead and threaded the thread back through the crimp again, instead of course like going through those beads again. So once I put it through the crimp, I just tighten it with my needle nose pliers. Now once that crimp is secure, snip off the excess thread, and then you're gonna get your crimp cover. The crimp cover just looks like an extra bead on the end. I chose gold because we are doing gold. Securing the crimp covers isn't too difficult. Once you slide it on, you're lightly going to press on the crimp cover, not too heavy because you don't want to flatten it, but just lightly press on it, turn it a bit and press on it more until it is secure, and that's one end. And you just do the exact same thing with the other end with the lobster clasp. Now that your waist beads are complete, you can go ahead and pray over them. Make sure you are giving them a lot of positive energy. Now, no one is saying that these beads alone are going to make you become a boss. You're going to become independent and run your own empire. You're still going to have to put the work in. These are a tool to help keep you motivated on the journey that you are on. Whenever obstacles come about, you can hold on to your beads and remind yourself why you are doing it. Take a few deep breaths and get right back to it. Now, if you like this video, go ahead and thumbs it up. Comment down below, will you be making your own? And until next time.
Don't confuse me with somebody else, 'cause I've been working, I've been moving in stealth. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself.